Hello, my name is Emily Pence,
My name is Rita Pinto.
and we're going to be discussing our personal views on the death penalty in the United States. We're going to be talking about whether we think it should be abolished, whether we think it should be illegal. We're going to talk about the different aspects of it and our personal views. I personally think that the death penalty should be abolished in the United States. I do not think it's ethical, and I think it just brings down our society as a whole.
In my opinion, the death penalty should be legal, and I'm going to defend the death penalty, saying that it should exist. The first reason I think this is because it deters people from committing future crimes. Because if a criminal knows that he's going to be penalized by death when he commits that crime, he's going to think more about that, and maybe he, in the last minute, he can change the decision to kill that person, and it can decrease the rate crime. So I feel like if death penalty exists, it's gonna decrease the number of crimes, and it's gonna increase the safety in our society, and how people feel, and how secure people feel. It's not only about the criminal, it's also about everyone in our society. So the criminal is going to be scared to commit that crime, and it can affect his actions. And also I think it's a way that makes people in our society to feel more safe, in my opinion. That was gonna happen, because I feel that, and I feel like if I have death penalty in my country or in my state, I'm gonna feel better, and yeah.
Okay. I definitely see what you're saying, where the death penalty for some people might give them kind of like a safety blanket. But for me, someone that kills, someone that has the ability inside them to kill, usually isn't in their right state of mind. They're usually psychotic, suffering some psychotic break or PTSD, or there's so many mental illnesses involved that are usually linked to the end goal of murder. Also, some of these murders aren't planned. They just kind of happen, and the ones that are planned, they are planned with such precision that they are going to commit that crime regardless of any outcomes. And also, people always think that they're going to get away with crimes. No one ever does something they're not supposed to, and is like, oh, well, I might get caught. I probably will get caught, but I'm still going to do this. People who do bad things think that they're going to get away with it, and so that's what these people do. They're either mentally ill or going through some sort of psychotic break if they're not mentally ill, or they just disregard the consequences. And so from the research I've done, I haven't seen a huge crime rate decrease just because the death penalty is implemented. Deaths occur in all states in the United States, or murders are committed in all states, even though the death penalty is not a law in each state. So I do not think that, whereas it may provide some people with an extra safety blanket, I don't think it is fully necessary for actually decreasing crime or actually deterring criminals, because if someone's going to kill, they're going to kill.
I see what you're saying, and we can apply that in some cases when it's like a crime that was thought for a long time ago, and it something really specific. And also when the criminal has mental problems, that I can see that in that cases. But also there's a probability to decrease the crimes that are committed just by angry, and that are not in that level. So I think it's always gonna help, and it's always gonna decrease the crime rate. So it's always gonna help in that point. And in my opinion, like I said before, besides the criminal that is gonna be affected by that and is maybe gonna change some of them, I'm not saying that all of the criminals are gonna be affected by that, but besides that, my opinion is that I would feel more comfortable living in a country that has the death penalty.
Well, another problem with the death penalty is that it's so arbitrary, as I just talked about. There's some states that have it in the United States, some states that don't have it in the United States, and they handle each case differently. There are different requirements for each state to be eligible for the death penalty. So, the same crime might be committed in California or in Texas, and the outcomes are going to be completely different. One man might lose his life, one man might be able to walk free in 25 years or so, just depending on the state's law and how they handle it. And I think the randomness of it isn't good for society. Our day and age is all about equality for women, equality for just gender equality, race equality, everything. And the death penalty is that one thing that we're holding on to that it doesn't have that equality. There's more statistics show that more black people are given the death penalty than white people if they commit a crime, or that men are more likely to be given the death penalty than women. And I think this is just a gleaming beacon in society that shows that equality, it just undermines all of the equality movements we're trying to do. And I think that's one of the main reasons that we just can't have it in our day and age.
Yeah, I can see your points, and that's why this is a really hard topic to discuss, and it should be equal all over the place, and I don't think it's fair to have that in some states or in some countries, and I think we should have it like all over the world. And unfortunately we don't have. My opinion is that we should have, and it should be something equal everywhere, and that's why it's a hard topic. But besides that, we can also think about the fact that death penalty matches the crime, and it's the fair punishment, and this punishment matches the crime. So this is a strong point to argue, because if someone kills another person, the right consequence is to have the same thing. Like, if you kill someone, you should die, because that person didn't have the right to die, so you don't have the right to live anymore from the moment since the moment that you killed someone. And in my opinion, this is how we can do justice. And for me, justice is about having equal rights, and having the same consequences for everyone. And if you kill someone, you should die and don't have the right to live anymore. That's how we do justice.
Okay. I see that where justice does need to be served in a case like this. When a horrible crime is committed, such as murder, there is justice that needs to be served. But I think you're trying to make a black and white line of where it should be drawn. And I think the line between retribution and justice, and the line between revenge, it can get crossed when dealing with life or death situations. I think that putting another man to death, that doesn't really create justice. It just creates more death, more loss, more crime, basically, because these people so you're saying it's kind of like a chain reaction. If a murderer kills someone and then a judge sentences this person to death, well, this judge deserves to die now, and then who sentences them? And I think it's just a chain reaction where, instead of focusing on death and the ending of a life of another person, we need to think of rehabilitation, or just life in prison if these people are unsalvageable and just need to be off the streets. I think we need to focus on just life in prison, because there's too much focus on revenge, too much focus on death, and in our day and age we need to rise above that, I think.
Yeah, but I think there's a difference between revenge and retribution, because this is not about revenge, because who is gonna kill the person is not like the family of the dead person or something like that, is the law. So it's something that is already established, and I agree that someone is gonna have to kill that person. So it goes to again to that thing of killing someone, but it's about justice this time, and the only way that we can do it's by doing the same thing that the criminal did. So in my opinion, he doesn't have the right to live anymore, because he can't take that from other person, and he doesn't have the right to keep living and keep having food and like have the opportunity to be in this world since the moment that he committed a crime like that. And this is the only way to put the family of the person more comfortable and feel that the right thing and justice is being made for the other person.
Well, this is where I think of, what about the family of the criminal? Does the family deserve the same pain and punishment? The family didn't do anything. You know, they have this person related to them who did something horrible, but they're about to suffer this same loss. It's like, I just want to know, when does it end? When does the chain of suffering end? Because someone killed someone, their family, they're dead, their family's heartbroken. Now the law says that we kill the original murderer, and now his family, her family is it's in the same position as the other family, and I feel like it involves too many innocent parties, you know, whereas them getting locked up for the rest of their life, it's just, okay, that's an awful outcome, but you know, you're not expediting or exploiting that sort of suffering, you know?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I would say that it depends. Everything goes around to that two people, like the person that died, that was killed, and the person that committed the crime. And now we have to focus on making justice for the person that like lost the life. So I will just say that let's not focus on extra things, and like since the moment that someone is killed and something is gonna be done by the law, that's okay, because they are just trying to make justice, and the only way is by killing the person that already killed another one.
Okay, so seems like we kind of have an understanding of we both want equality, right?
Yeah.
Equality across the states, equality across the country, across the world. So we agree that we do need a fine line.
Yeah, I just think that we have a different view.
Yeah.
Of making justice.
But we have the same view of equality. So
yeah.
that's something.
Thank you.
Thank you.